What is up, guys? Welcome back. So this is a little bit different from my usual beginner's guide video, but I think I'm going to be talking about a very important topic in this video, and this is something that actually fucked me over pretty hard when I started playing. So I think this will serve as a warning to you guys. My job in this video is just to clear one single misconception, a very big misconception that I came into the game with, and a lot of players probably will have, especially if you've played similar games before, like, you know, monster collecting games with like stars and stuff. Me personally, I come from a background of Summoner's War, so I brought with me a lot of previous, you know, knowledge that actually is not applicable to this game. And the thing I want to talk about today, and the misconception that I want to clear up today, is a lot of people believe that natural 5 stars or 4 stars are automatically better than 3 stars, and that is definitely untrue. And the system of this game makes it so, and also like the balancing of this game also makes it that way as well. This is probably, like, maybe later on in the game, like if you can actually make your Nat 5 Evo 3, then this won't be true. But as for early to mid game, in most cases you're probably better off raising your natural 3 stars rather than 4 stars and 5 stars, and I hope to show you why. So if you look at my monster boxes right now, you would know that I've not raised, like, you know, with the exception of this monster and this one, most of them are 5 stars and 4 stars. So I actually came into the game, and now I kind of regret it, but at the same time I kind of don't, because I paid a little bit of money, and I was a little bit lucky in my summon, so I was able to get away with it. But I want to show you guys some numbers, and hopefully you guys will see things the way I see them right now. So right here, this is the Kilobat. He is a natural 2-star monster, and he is very popular. A lot of people use him for like higher level dungeon teams because of, you know, a lot of the mobs in the dungeons are dark, and he can serve as a light tank. He has very good base HP and defense, and he has really useful skills with attack down and defense break. So I want to compare him to another defense breaker, one that I use, the Fire Arthur, which is a natural 5-star, and I want to compare their stats at level 60. So if you take a look at HP, it's going to be the Light Kilobat at Evo 3, and this is the Light Arthur at Evo 2. Realistically, it's going to be very hard for you to raise a Nat 5 to Evo 3, because you will need at the very least 4 copies of the Nat 5 in order to make an Evo 3 version of him, and that is definitely very hard to do. So this is also one of the reasons why I would say, like, you know, a lot of times raising a Nat 2 or Nat 3 to Evo 3 is better than using a Nat 4 or Nat 5 at Evo 2, you know. So I think the main reason that you know, a lot of people have that misconception is they come into the game, they look at the stars, and they go like, okay, 4 stars automatically better, 2 stars garbage, you know, because of in most games, like, 2 stars will have less stats than 3 stars, and 3 stars will have less stats than 4 stars, and so on. But that's not really the case in this game. Even at Evo 3, some of the stats, like defensive wise, the Light Kilobat, a 2-star, is still able to outclass a 5-star. But, you know, 5-star is an attack type. But anyways, in most games that actually never happens. So he has 2,900 HP. The Arthur has, like, you know, 2,200. He has double his attack, but he has a lot less defense as well. And then recovery is kind of a useless stat for tank types, but, you know, he has somewhat decent recovery. His recovery isn't that good, but, you know, for him doing his job, if you want to build him tanky, I don't think this is a really fair comparison, but I really want to use the Fire Canneling as an example, but unfortunately the wiki didn't have stats for his for him. So I used like a similar monster with a similar skill set, but a different type as a comparison. So in like 2 of his stats, he's like, I would say, relatively superior to a natural 5-star, and this is only a natural 2-star. Another example I want to use was the wood Miho. This, the Mihos, in my opinion, is probably the most farmable monster in the entire game. Like, you will get a Miho no matter wherever you're farming. And she is an attack type monster. She has higher HP. And wait, this is natural 3-star. She has a bit higher HP, a little bit lower attack, and a little bit lower defense, and the same amount of recovery. So this, like, if you compare her to the Kilobat, you'll think that the Kilobat is also superior to her because of how he has higher HP and defense. And at the same time, you know, she's an attack type monster, but she has like a lot of her stats distributed to you know, recovery, which is, I would say, not that useful. But anyways, the point that I'm trying to make is even a 3-star is able to like stand up to a 5-star, you know, in terms of stats, because of how things balance out. You know, he might have a little bit higher attack, but I'll have a little bit higher HP than him. Another monster I want to use as an example is the Succubus. This is the Evo 2 version of her, and I actually have her. I'm using monsters that I actually use and have as an example to show that I've actually made some mistakes. Like, this is wrong, don't copy me. Like, you know, obviously with him being a 5-star, his stats are going to be really, really strong. But with her only being a 4-star, she's still relatively hard to raise to Evo 2, because you will still need 4 versions of her in order to raise her to Evo 2, and you won't necessarily want to use spleens on natural 4-stars, meaning that you will need like 16 copies of her in order to make her Evo 3. So if you compare her stats to the Miho, which, you know, they're both attack type monsters, the Miho has higher, at Evo 3 has higher HP, and she has lower HP. She has a little bit higher attack than the Miho, a little bit higher defense, but the Miho has higher amount of recovery. So the 2 of them pretty much kind of balance out in stats, and it's a lot easier to get a natural 3-star to Evo 3 than it is to get a 4-star even to Evo 2. And that's the point I'm trying to make here. And that is the reason, that's the main reason why it's probably better, it might be better for you to raise a natural 3-star rather than a natural 4-star early to mid game. And for certain monsters, I don't think the Miho is the best example. For certain monsters, even later on, like even if you compare Evo 3 to Evo 3, certain 3-stars might still even be better than 4-stars. This is another example of 2 healers that I use as well. This is the Water Siren and the Wood Hana. These are 2 healers that I use all the time. They're in my monster box right there. And this is the Hana Evo 2. Unfortunately, I don't have multiple copies of the Hana, so I'm only using her at Evo 1, which makes her a lot, or significantly weaker than my Siren right now. And my Siren's only at well, actually, I think I have the resources to raise her to Evo 3, but I don't necessarily want to spend the gold right now. But if you compare her stats at Evo 3 compared to the Hanami at, or the Hana at Evo 2, you'll notice that pretty much their stats are almost identical in terms of HP. She has like a few hundred higher. It's pretty much the same amount of attack, and the Water Siren actually has a lot higher defense, and they have pretty much the same amount of recovery. So in terms of stats, the Water Siren at Evo 3 is vastly superior to the Wood Hana. And I can't even get her to Evo 2, so I'm basically using her at this state right now, you know, and she has a lot less stats than the Water Siren. So the point that I think I think I made my point pretty clear now at this point. Early to mid game, maybe even like somewhat late game, it might be better for you to raise a monster to Evo 3, like a 3-star monster to Evo 3, and use that monster instead of an Evo 4 monster. And yeah, and hopefully this proved my point. I'm gonna go into my next video and I'm gonna talk about how to, or which monsters that I would recommend raising, like which farmable monsters that are really good. Obviously I don't have experience with them because I never tested them out, but a lot of these monsters are recommended to me, and a lot of these monsters are used in various dungeon teams and with a lot of people. So I'll see you guys in the next video, and yeah, don't make the same mistake I did. Don't learn from my mistakes. That's pretty much it. See you guys in the next video. Peace out.